The Senate will now require periodic anti-harassment training for all senators, staff and interns, per AP. Lawmakers will have to complete the training within 60 days, providing a certificate of proof, which will then be published for the public on the Secretary of the Senate's website. Why it matters. Part of the Harvey Weinstein fallout included at least 4 women lawmakers coming forward with stories about their sexual harassment experiences on Capitol Hill. Members were previously not required to do any anti-harassment training, so this latest measure is a step toward resolving some of the issues that have existed within Congress. Go deeper. A look at Sen. Kirsten Gillibrand's comprehensive bill proposal to overhaul how harassment claims are handled. Stephen Miller, a White House senior policy advisor, was interviewed by special counsel Robert Mueller in his ongoing Russia probe, specifically regarding possible obstruction of justice, per CNN. Why it matters. Miller is the highest-level White House official to be swept up in the Russia probe and tease yet another person involved that is close to Trump, who continues to claim there's been no collusion and that it's all a hoax. What they discussed Miller's role in firing former FBI Director James Comey in the March 2016 meeting, organized by George Papadopoulos, who was charged in Mueller's probe, in which he told Miller and others that he was trying to set up a meeting with Vladimir Putin. The details. The new odd product will be priced significantly lower than Netflix, CEO Bob Iger says. Iger notes that the service will launch with less volume than Netflix but with quality content that centers around 3 of its top brands: Pixar, Marvel and Star Wars. The new streaming service will be commercial-free, according to Iger. While the Walt Disney Co. plans to integrate commercials into its sports streaming app, Iger says we're not planning to have the programming that airs in the DTC service interrupted by commercials. Iger did say that sponsored programming is being considered. The name of the product has yet to be determined, says Iger. We're working on the cadence in which we will schedule and produce in the OTT service. A brand new Star Wars trilogy coming to Disney. It will be launched by the Star Wars The Last Jedi director Rian Johnson, who will write and produce the trilogy with producer Ram Bergman. ESPN is laying off another 100 staffers, per Sports Illustrated. The news broke shortly before ESPN's parent company, Walt Disney Co., announced that its cable network's revenue, driven mostly by ESPN, was down year-over-year. Advertising was down by the lower single digits. A reported decrease in ad impressions was offset by higher ad rates. Why it matters. Once hailed the king of cable, ESPN is now a reflection of what many in the cable industry are facing today: a steady loss in subscribers, higher production costs and stagnant ad revenues. Earlier this year, Disney purchased a majority stake in BAMTech, the cutting-edge digital TV provider for MLB Network, WWE and others, to transition programming onto an on-demand digital platform. But that integration isn't slated to finish for some time, and in the interim, ESPN needs to adjust its cost structure, including talent, while it adapts to the changing landscape. Countering losses, the company revealed more details about its planned digital sports streaming service, which is set to debut in part next year. The service, called ESPN Plus, will launch next spring and will be available through a new redesigned version of the ESPN app. It will stream channels on an authenticated basis, and consumers can subscribe to the app for additional sports content. The service will be ad-supported, unlike its sister entertainment product that Disney plans to launch for movies and shows in 2019 to rival Netflix. The investment in BAMTech will be costly upfront, Disney CEO Bob Iger told investors on Thursday's earnings call. Consolidation of BAMTech will adversely impact cable operating income by about $130 million compared to last year, Iger said. Roughly half the BAMTech-related impact will happen in Q1 of next year. All of the powerful men who have been accused of sexual abuse in the week since the bombshell Harvey Weinstein report broke. Legally, parties and candidates in Alabama have until 76 days before an election to withdraw a nomination, so it is too late for Moore's name to be replaced on the ballot. The Alabama Board of Elections says Moore's name will remain on the ballot no matter what happens between now and December 12. But a spokesman told NPR that the Alabama Republican Party can withdraw his nomination, meaning he wouldn't be declared the winner even if he received the most votes. One alternative, some, including GOP Sen. Lisa Murkowski, have suggested that incumbent Sen. Luther Strange run a write-in campaign. Strange was defeated by Moore in the primary despite being endorsed by party leadership and President Trump. There is a precedent. Murkowski was elected as a write-in candidate in 2010. What they're saying, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, if these allegations are true, he must step aside. Sen. John McCain, the allegations against Roy Moore are deeply disturbing and disqualifying. He should immediately step aside and allow the people of Alabama to elect a candidate they are proud of. Sen. Lisa Murkowski said, "I'm horrified, and if this is true, he needs to step down immediately." She also said she has spoken to Luther Strange about becoming a write-in challenge, ultimately challenging Moore in the December 12 election. Sen. Ted Cruz, who endorsed Roy Moore. These are serious and troubling allegations. If they are true, Judge Moore should immediately withdraw. However, we need to know the truth, and Judge Moore has the right to respond to these accusations. Sen. Jeff Flake, if there is any shred of truth to the allegations against Roy Moore, he should step aside immediately. Sen. John Cornyn, who endorsed Moore and is listed on his website, said, "Well, I think the next steps are up to the governor and the people of Alabama. I find it deeply disturbing and troubling. If it is true, I don't think his candidacy is sustainable." Sen. David Perdue called the allegations devastating and said Moore should withdraw if they're true. Sen. Pat Toomey, if there's a shred of truth to it, then he need to step aside. Sen. Richard Shelby, if that's true, then he wouldn't belong in the Senate. Sen. Mike Lee, if these allegations are true, Roy Moore needs to step down. Sen. Tim Scott, if they're accurate, he should step aside. Sen. Cory Gardner, chairman of National Republican Senatorial Committee, if these allegations are found to be true, Roy Moore must drop out of the Alabama special Senate election. Sen. Rob Portman, it was very troubling. If what we read is true and people are on the record, so I assume it is. Moore should step aside. Sen. Susan Collins, if there is any truth at all to these horrific allegations, Roy Moore should immediately step aside as a Senate candidate. Sen. John Hoeven, the allegations against Roy Moore are very serious, and if true, he should step down as a candidate for the Senate. By the numbers, 29% of Apple's leaders are women, up 1 percentage point from the prior year. Nearly 2/3 of its leaders are white, with 3% black and 7% Hispanic. 39% of its leaders under 30 are women. 32% of its global workforce are women. 54% of its U.S. workforce is white. 21% Asian. 9% black. 13% Hispanic. 3% multiracial. 23% of Apple's technical workforce globally is female. 52% of Apple's U.S. technical workers are white. 31% Asian. 7% black. 8% Hispanic. 2% multiracial. 5 different women have accused comedian Louis C.K. of sexual misconduct, the New York Times reported Thursday afternoon, after years of rumors that he had masturbated in front of female associates. C.K. refused to comment for the Times story, but canceled a film premiere before the story broke. The Claims comedians Dana Mint Goodman and Julia Wallach claim C.K. invited them to his room, completely undressed himself and began masturbating in front of them. Abby Schachner claimed that when she called to invite C.K. to one of her shows in 2003, she could hear him masturbating over the phone. Rebecca Corey also told The Times that C.K. had asked to masturbate in front of her while she was on a television pilot in 2005.